Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. Today I'm very excited because I am filming my Monsterathon TBR video. Monsterathon is a month-long readathon taking place in September. It's hosted by Chapter Kate and a bunch of other lovely people. I will link Chapter Kate's announcement video down below, the link to the Twitter, and that's kind of where everything is explained. It's a slightly more complicated readathon than I usually take part in. There are 3 teams. There are a bunch of challenges. There's going to be video challenges, there's points for the number of pages you read and all that stuff, so I'm not going to try to explain it. I'll just link the stuff down below if you're interested in hearing what it's all about. I am part of the team Haunts, which I chose because ghosts are amazing, and also one of my favourite board games has haunts as a concept involved in it, which is great, so I took that as a sign. So there are 10 challenges for the readathon, and there's also group challenges which I'm not going to talk about in this video. So this is going to be my TBR video. I have not got books for all of the challenges yet, but I've gotten from most of them, so I'm just going to talk about the ones that I'm definitely considered. I will say as well, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that books can't double up for challenges unlike most readathons, because you get points. They're called villages that you're scaring. I love the theme of this haunt. You get points for every challenge you complete, so it seems to me that it wouldn't be logical to have, like, you could read one book and get 800 points for it, so that is different to other readathons, and normally I double up like crazy, so that's why I'm not doing that. First challenge is to read a book with a classic horror monster. I have gone for Thin Air, a ghost story by Paver. I've had this for a while. It's a nice thin book. It's got an absolutely gorgeous cover. I'm obsessed with this cover. And this is a ghost story set in 1935 about a group of people who climb the highest mountain in the Himalayas, and as they climb higher and higher, weirder and weirder stuff starts happening. Paver wrote one of my favourite book series when I was younger, which is Wolf Brother, but I've not read any of her adult work, and she's done quite a few ghost type books, so definitely excited to be getting around to this. And the traditional monster it has is of course a ghost, which works for the haunt team. I don't have any ghost themed t-shirts, but I am wearing my Little Shop of Horrors t-shirt, which I think is appropriate for the Monsterathon. The next 2 challenges I don't have books for yet, but that is to read a book over 400 pages and to read a book that is classified under multiple genres. I'm sure I'll be able to find books that fit these, but at the moment I'm leaving them blank, so I've got a bit of wiggle room. The next challenge is to read a book with monstrous humans. I could read a lot for these, I've got all my thrillers, but I'm going to pick Britain's Unsolved Murders by Kevin Turton. This is an arc I've got to read for September. It comes out in September, and it's just a non-fiction about unsolved murders in Britain, which I think sounds really cool. Hopefully it'll be really good. I've had bad luck with non-fiction books from NetGalley being too informational and not enough interesting, so hopefully this one will be really good. The next prompt is to read a graphic novel featuring a monster. I'm pre-filming this before September and I haven't got a book for this prompt, but I've asked for my birthday from my partner for one of 2 graphic novels. One is The Survivors Club by Lauren Bukes, and the other is Through the Woods. I can't remember who it's by, but it's Emma something. I'll put it in the description down below. Both of these are horror graphic novels, and I think they both have monsters in. One definitely does. Through the Woods I think definitely does. So I'm hoping I will get one of those and I can read it for this prompt. The next challenge is to read a book recommended by more than one person. I did a Twitter post for this, and I counted people liking other people's posts as recommendations, and there was one book that I was suggested that I already own and is on my TBR, so I've just gone with that one. That is The Haunting of Hill House. Again, haunt, it fits perfectly. See, I definitely planned this. This is by Shirley Jackson. This again is quite short, and it is a ghost story about Hill House, and I know the plot of the movie, I'm not sure if it's the same as the book, but I think it is, where people go there under the guise of doing this sleep experiment, but actually it's an experiment about ghosts and creepy stuff starts happening. So yeah, I'm quite excited to finally read this. The next challenge, again, I don't have a book for yet, but is to read a book you've seen in an unhaul video. I have so many unhaul videos on my watch later list on YouTube. I'm going to binge them all before September actually starts. Try and find a book that is on my TBR from those videos and just roll with that one. So that prompt should be done soon. Next challenge is to read a book with a monster with plant or animal traits. You'd think I'd go for the plant, but I'm actually going for the animal. And I'm going to read Cujo by Stephen King. This I've owned for ages and not read it. This is a horror book about a rabid dog. It's a Stephen King book, I love it. It's quite chunky, and this is the one he wrote when he was all addicted to painkillers and drugged up, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how that influences his writing. But yeah, I've heard somewhat mixed things about this, but it's perfect for this prompt. The next prompt is to read a book with a monster that is dead or undead. I've got a couple of ghost stories already on this list, as you can see, so I've actually decided to go for a reread, and I'm going to reread This Is Not a Test by Courtney Summers. I love Courtney Summers, she's one of my favourite authors. I've now read all of her books, and after reading Sadie last month, I've wanted to reread all of her books before the end of the year, which I'm not sure if I'm going to fit in, but This Is Not a Test is one of my favourite ones of her. It's essentially a zombie book, and it's about a group of teenagers who are stranded in their school. I don't think they all know each other. And it's about the zombie apocalypse, and that's pretty much all I can say about it, but it's beautiful. It's got so much emotion, so much character focus in it, and I love it. So I'm really looking forward to rereading this. It's been a few years. And the final challenge is to read a book with an alien, robot or sci-fi creature in it. So I have decided to go with The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is my book club book pick, so I haven't actually chosen to read this. It's someone else has chosen it to read, for us all to read for the book club. I have got an audiobook of this already though, and I've heard good things from my partner, and the people in the book club who've already read it seem to enjoy it. So this is a science fiction about a crew of quirky people who go on some kind of space mission involving, I think it's involving like space tunnels, like transporting tunnels, wormholes. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, and I'm not 100% sure what it's about beyond that, but there is a robot in it, definitely. And yeah, it should be interesting. I've got to read it anyway for the book club, so it's perfect timing. So yeah, so that is all of the books that I am reading for Monsterathon that I've planned so far. Let me know if you're taking part, let me know what team you're on. Team Haunt is clearly the best team, I'm just going to throw that out there. If you've got any ideas for the prompts that I haven't covered as yet, then that would be great as well. I love suggestions. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out massively. And I hope to see you next time.